was working and talking and doing some stuff, and I decided, let me go outside and record a video. I felt inspired because I was having a conversation with a colleague of mine, and we were talking about putting together a project that we're going to be doing together. And she asked me, well, no, what she did, she said, "Thank you for becoming a lawyer. Thank you for deciding to do this work." And I was like, it's interesting because I decided to become a lawyer when I was 12 years old. That's what I wanted to do. I think we were probably studying the civil rights movement, and we were talking about famous lawyers like Thurgood Marshall and other lawyers who helped to basically bring the civil rights movement to us, because of course we had the people on the ground who were like creating a resistance, and they were building the momentum. But then a lot of these battles were, I would say, the deal was sealed in the courtroom, or maybe the groundwork was laid in the courtroom, and then the people on the ground were the ones that ushered in some of the change, or maybe it was just like an interchange between the two. I'm not going to try to go deep on that because that's outside of my expertise. But what I realized is that when I was 12 years old, I decided I wanted to be a lawyer. And I thought I wanted to be like a criminal justice lawyer, especially for youth. I used to watch Judge Glenda Hatchett, and I would see how she would make an impact on the lives of the youth. And so I thought I wanted to be in a youth. I wasn't saying youth back then because I was a youth myself, but I wanted to help other kids like me, other kids who were in trouble. I wanted to help kids in trouble stay out of trouble, be able to live their lives the way they wanted. So I thought I want to be a juvenile court judge when I get older. And so I knew I had to be a lawyer to do that. But little did I know I was going to be working with families and their land. I was going to be working with farmers and helping them to create succession planning, helping them to create estate plans for their farms so that they can keep farming in their family, so that they can ensure that the family land is still available to future generations, and that they don't lose the family land like so many families have lost over the years. So many families have lost their family farms, they've lost their family lands due to a lot of different reasons. But I get to be a lawyer that helps people to create estate plans so that their families don't lose their family farms, their families don't lose that family land, the family house, those family investments that have been built up over the years. And so as I was speaking with her, I was just like, oh my goodness. Like, I was 12 years old and I decided I wanted to be a lawyer. I had no idea that any of this was going to be happening. I had no idea that I was going to be working with farmers and landowners, and that I was going to be helping families with heirs property. But God knew what he had in mind when he put that seed in my mind for me to be a lawyer. I was like, that is crazy because, of course, like, this is a passion that I've developed over time, but perhaps like this was already seen that this was going to be happening. So I just was really, that really like grabbed me when I thought about that. And I just considered the fact that even though this all feels new and fresh, like it's unfolding to me, God already had a vision for this before I was even, out of middle school. I was in middle school, 7th grade, I remember, and I knew that I wanted to be a lawyer. So I went through the education system, and I just held on to that belief that I was going to be a lawyer when I grew up. And then when I actually graduated high school, graduated college, went to law school, graduated law school, I still had that juvenile justice, civil rights perspective of what I was going to be doing with my life. I had no idea that I would eventually be working with farmers and landowners. So I just want to come on here and say that we don't know the decisions that we make long, long, long ago, or maybe even a decision that we are making right now. We don't realize that that decision could be linked to something that is like definitely for such a time as this. I think about the threat and the risk that is currently present in our, especially in the American South, when it comes to farmland. And I won't say especially the American South, because I'm sure it's like this everywhere where there's farmland. Right now, farmland is prime locations for data centers, it's prime locations for big commercial farms. People are wanting to build subdivisions in different communities. do a lot of development work, big projects, factories, things like that, which those things are needed. We need those things. However, we also very much need farmland. We need family farms. We need people who are farming who actually care about the people that they're feeding. We need people who actually have a mind of how can I ensure that my food stays healthy and safe for the people who are eating it. We need people who are feeding their own families from their farms and who care about the food that they're putting out because they're eating it themselves. Their families are eating it. We can't just have, not gonna go on too much of a soapbox here, but we do need to protect family farms. And so I am grateful that I have been afforded the opportunity to do this work and to help families who have land, help families who have farms to preserve those in their families, to make sure that they continue to be viable, financially viable options for them, to ensure that they continue to have the tools in place to be able to farm or be able to pass their family farm to the next generation. I want to be a part of the system that makes it possible to continue small scale farming in a way that is not going to be, oh, I'm choosing poverty because I want to be a farmer. Like, I really want to be a part of a system that allows people to make that choice and to thrive financially, thrive mentally, to have everything that they need to be able to be successful at farming. So I just wanted to come on here and share that today, that you never know, that little seed of a thought that you had when you were 12 years old could have been the beginning of something that you just had no idea it was going to become. And I still don't know. I mean, I don't know where this is going, where God is leading me, but I do know that I would have never expected I'd be doing what I do now when I was just 12 years old. So I just wanted to share that really quickly. Hope y'all have an amazing day. Thank you so much for humoring me for these past few minutes, and I will be on to talk to y'all again soon. Take care.